Hi, I'm Lin.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lin and Leo.
Yes, and today we're going to go through our top 5 tips on opening the pelvis in Baddha Konasana.
So Baddha Konasana, sometimes known as cobbler's pose or bound angle pose, quite a challenge for those of us with tightness in the groins and the hips. And some of you might be thinking that this is not for you, but actually if you do have tight groins and hips, then you need to do this pose. It might not come as easily as for other people, but that's why we do it.
So we're going to start off with the Adho Mukha Baddha Konasana, or Ardha Baddha Konasana. So this is quite an extreme action. So we're going to start off with the extreme, and then we're going to work in ways which are going to help everybody, particularly those of you who've got quite stiff hips.
So Lin is going to demonstrate this one, I'm glad to say.
Okay, so we come into the Baddha Konasana action. So again, we're going to show you a few different methods on how to practice this. But this is the forward bending action. So when you come into this forward bending action, it's really important that these thighs are supported. So if they're not supported on the floor, then they need to be supported on some foam pads, which we will go through in just a moment. So when you come into the forward action, remember it's a very extreme action. The abdomen and the body groins need to move very deeply into the lower abdominal area. So when you come into this action, you extend, keeping the symmetry, keeping the opening, and lengthening those groins. And then finally releasing the head down towards the floor. So that is a fairly extreme action. So you can place a couple of foam pads, because some of you will be able to get your thighs down in this position relatively easily. Some people are just able to do that, but the forward action may be a little bit difficult because the body groins might be tight. And what I'm talking about with the body groins, it's this area that comes up through the lower abdominal area. So you may need to have a couple of foam pads just to rest the head in that position.
And can I just say, for the people who are very flexible, now Lin has had to work at this. This didn't come naturally to her like this. This is something she's worked at very hard. But for some people, they can do it without ever having done any yoga before. But if you are one of those people, you've got to think about drawing your thigh bones back into the hip socket. You're not just sitting there and flopping into this action. You've got to work to pull those thigh bones back into the socket.
Yeah, it's a very good point. So now we're going to show the action of the support, as I was talking about earlier on. So when you come into Baddha Konasana and you haven't got the support of the floor, then you're going to need to have some support underneath those thighs. So you can see Leo's getting her preparations here. The blanket is really a nice way of working, because when you're tight in the hips, it puts a lot of load onto the outer foot bone, so it gets quite sharp. It's quite a sharp action. So you can see here with this action that you need to see that you are supporting that back thigh onto the support as if you were on the floor, but the floor level has just been raised. So you've got something to ground the thighs onto. And then to come forward, we have a chair. So you can place the chair in front of you and then come forward. So as you come forward, it's the upward action that is the most important. So as you come forward, you're coming up first. So you're getting that symmetry. Now remember what I was saying in the classic pose is that it's a two-way direction. You have to see that those body groins are supporting the lower back region. So it's not all led from the belly. The belly needs to move towards the spine side, very important. And of course you can progress this by moving the chair further away or placing the hands onto the top of the chair. But don't come here first. This is not the most important action. This is how you connect with the forward bending action, that lower abdominal action. So hopefully this is helpful to some of you who've got stiff hips. Our next way of working is to connect with the Baddha Konasana action by lifting the feet up. So we're going to lift the feet up onto this support, still sitting on the floor and being in this position. And this will give you a different action in your Baddha Konasana, but also just having these shins slightly lifted, you can do exactly that. You can lift off the floor and start to work towards this support. Try to broaden the groins, opening as much as you can. So if there is a stiffness there, just keep moving, being in this position or in some of the different poses that we're going to show. Just keep consistent with your practice, and then you will find that the Baddha Konasana will come eventually. So this is a really nice way of working. I quite like this. It really opens the eyes.
And although, you know, I have been practicing this for many years, and I'm nowhere near getting my thighs to the floor, I was a lot worse when I started in yoga.
Yeah, so, I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stiffness, and now their legs are starting to go into the right direction. So remember, it is all about process. Okay, so this is another really good way of working. Another way of working is to connect with those feet. So you may still need to sit on some support, but we're going to take a belt around their foot bones now. So you can see Leo's on her support, and she's going to place the belt around foot bones now. So this is a really nice way of working, tying the feet together. You'll be surprised on how this helps to connect with the thighs, the inner thighs and the groins. It's a really nice way of working. So again, you can extend and really work with that belt to try to open the groin. And again, this is a very nice way of practicing towards your Baddha Konasana action. It's quite a nice way of working, isn't it?
Yes, and you can work with your hands behind.
Certainly
you can work with your hands holding onto your shins. You can be on a higher support if necessary.
You certainly can.
There are different ways that you can work depending on your level of flexibility in this region.
So I'm just going to show you as well with this, is that if you take this belt off, you can always use the belt. It's always worth doing this if you've got stiff hips underneath the foot as well. And just whilst you've got the belt, you can hold on in this way. So you can pull on the belt and use your upper arms to push down with the thighs if you're able to. But it may be that actually that is a little bit of a step too far. So go and see that you use the belt, you pull on the belt, and then you get those thighs moving a little bit more. Now, if all of these actions are very difficult, then we have a passive way of working, and it's a very nice way of working with the chair. So I'm going to show you on the chair a supine action. So if you have a yoga chair, then that's useful, but you can use any chair. Sorry about the sirens going off there. So now taking the soles of the feet together and then extending back. So this is a really nice way of working. Just resting the feet on the edge of the chair and relaxing in your Baddha Konasana. So we hope that our top 5 tips on open the groins for Baddha Konasana has been helpful today. And if you like our channel, then do subscribe or press the like button. Namaste.